But as Maria Miller shows us, some aren't letting this light go down without a fight.
It's the first thing you see, a tall beacon on the Calabogie Sound, as you approach Hague Point on Defusky Island. But get a little closer, and you can see the storms it's weathered over the years. For almost a century and a half, the lighthouse has been bearing the brunt of the northeastern winds.
And this being the north side of the island, it takes the most impact from the high tides when they come in. And just over years, it started eroding away. And then once the eroding starts, you know, it rapidly happens.
Our concern is if we don't act pretty quickly, we will lose the lighthouse and it will fall into the water.
1,700 feet of shoreline needs to be revented, a $700,000 project that requires laying black cloth down and topping it with boulders to shift the energy of the ocean.
So what we're trying to do is kind of draw a line with Mother Nature and with the Calabogie Sound, said that's enough, we're going to stop here.
A lot of the major erosion has taken place just over the last 10 to 15 years. It's only about 25 to 30 feet from the erosion to the steps of the lighthouse. They really want to save the lighthouse. Not only does it have historical significance, but oh, the stories that have survived the years. Maggie Comer, the daughter of the original lighthouse keeper, is said to haunt the structure. Guests have reported the upstairs bedroom door shutting and locking on its own.
But the stories go that he broke her heart. And then living on this island and being isolated, she's always haunted the lighthouse waiting for him to come back to her. So whether it's true or not, I don't know.
True or not, it lends to the character of this place.
Once you lose it, you just can't get it back.
If the revetment plans are approved by the county, work can begin as early as late May and be finished by September. Maria Miller, WTOC News.
Phones have been ringing off the hook. Carolyn Puckett says she's been getting calls from people who are praying for her, inviting her to church, and just offering her some comforting words. Puckett received a letter from her church pastor saying she's been deleted from the membership list, all because she bought a restaurant with video poker machines in it. She thinks Reverend Jamie Coley could have gone about it in a different way.
He should have visited with me and talked to me about it. Not on the phone.
I assured her several times that we loved her and we did not want to have to take action of removing her off the roll. She promised me before we hung up the phone that she would call me back, and she never returned. She never called me back.
Puckett says she got busy with work and didn't have time, and about a week later, she was off this Fort Mill church's roster. But it hasn't shaken her faith. She says she'll find a new church home. She is a little angry, though, those who live in glass houses.
You sin daily. Everybody sins. You're supposed to ask forgiveness. God knows my heart, and God knows my feelings.
Yesterday, Puckett said she sold over $100 worth of food, but took only $6 out of the video poker machines at the end of the day. She just started running skips and says she's contractually obliged to keep the machines until at least January 1st. But it leaves the question, what does the good book say to do?
So whosoever will may come. Our church doors is open to anyone. But in the case of Miss Puckett, we do believe in practicing church discipline, and that's what we've done.
Get real, man. You're not God.
Reverend Steve Hogg from First Baptist in Rock Hill, who received an award for helping the crusade against video poker from the House Speaker just yesterday, says it's a no-win situation.
People are going to criticize churches no matter what, whether you're holding up a standard or you're not. Either you're being too mean and unloving, or you're all hypocrites because none of you live righteous. So
I preach from the pulpit. I got vote no out there on the church sign, but then a member of your church is running the restaurant with poker machines in it. Do you understand how contradictory that would look?
Reverend Coley says in his letter to Puckett that he will pray for her sins. She says regardless of whether or not they ever ask her back, she will not walk up those steps or through those doors ever again. She's looking for a church that won't judge her. On Williams Road in Fort Mill, Jamie John, CN2.
Maria, what'd you find out?
Well, what we found out is that not only is the general population here in Bluffton just skyrocketing, as you mentioned, but the Hispanic population, when you extract those numbers, their percentages are about 4 times higher than the general population. In the town of Bluffton alone, they were up from the 2000 to the 2010 census almost 3,000%. You don't have to look too far to see the signs of change.
When you take money out of the bank, when you call the phone company, Hispania is growing. And here in the Low Country, you can see it everywhere. According to Census Bureau data, Jasper County has the highest number of Hispanics in the state And Beaufort County is number 3.
You don't see me going to Japan or going to China or going to anywhere in Asia or anywhere in the world looking for a better opportunity because I have it home.
Live growing. It's been a live growing for me. It's not only being a teacher, but being a part of the community, learning of the community, understanding the needs of the community.
Both Rivera and Osorio have lived in other states, but choose to call South Carolina home, as do more than 200,000 other Hispanics, pushing South Carolina's growth up almost 150%.
Understand that it is good and important for the progress of a nation to understand different cultures. Why? Because, you know, you learn new things, you learn new languages, you learn new way of cooking a dish that you're so accustomed to how they cook it in the South.
They balance out generations that have been here a long time that have forgotten that value of what it is to come from somewhere else that doesn't have running water or internet or video games or things like that. And that's where, you know, we're a great country because we balance those ethics.
They come, they say, for the American dream, and they found it in Beaufort and Jasper counties. Beaufort County as a whole has seen just a 12% increase in its Hispanic population, but on Hilton Head Island and in Bluffton, the populations have grown well beyond that.
You know, the American dream that I always dream of, and it's actually happening, so I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm here right now.
A dream and a culture they'd like to share with others.
Smile. Reach out. Try hola, which means hello. Simple, very simple.
Simple for some, not so simple for others. Learning English is no easy task. That's why Beaufort County, due to those increases, has implemented a vibrant ESL, or English as a Second Language program, that they also offer programs for the parents of those students. Don, Mike?
Well, how many students are enrolled in the ESL programs in Beaufort County?
Right now, there are about 3,300 students in Beaufort County schools that are enrolled in those programs, most of which are here in Hilton Head or Bluffton. In 2000, there were only 665.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Maria.
Jen, sometimes you don't. I mean, if you're at an ATM machine, you put your card in, you get your money out. If you're attacked there, at least you know you've been robbed. But as you said, we use our ATM cards just about everywhere. We use them at the machines, we use them at restaurants, convenience stores. And what there could be is a thief behind the scenes stealing the information off of the little black stripe on the back of your card. And that little black stripe has all your account information, your PIN number, and it has access to your money. You can use them here, or here, or here. Debit cards are convenient, but you could be paying a pretty high price for it, and not just in service fees. Security professionals say over $2 billion a year is stolen from bank accounts using your card's information. And there are a lot of ways to do that. It can happen when you hand that credit or debit card off to a waitress in a restaurant or to the clothing store clerk.
The clerk can disconnect the store scanner, the legitimate scanner. When you go to scan, the scanner doesn't work, and the clerk says, well, I'll scan it through over here, and he runs it through his own scanner.
Well, thieves are very sophisticated today, and with technology today, they're smarter, and they can use technology to gain what they want.
Angry, violated, and very distrusting that they can do something like that.
They can, and they do it right at the ATM machine itself. It's called skimming, and it's a sophisticated way to drain your bank account. Bankers say there are some ways to protect yourself from the fraud.
Protect your card at all times. Look at that machine. If it doesn't look like it's the normal ATM, don't use it. But look at your surroundings. Be very careful when you're withdrawing the money. Then you turn around and leave a minute, and don't be standing there counting your money. Get it in your pocket and leave. We're aware of what's happening, and we're doing everything we can to protect ourselves.